positions available on the board if anyone is interested. So please reach out to Janae or myself and we can definitely talk about this. But I guess before we get started, being that it is September 11th, the moment of silence. Okay. Mayor, thank you.
Oh, that was good.
Good job, Sharon.
Sorry.
Perfect timing.
People who are hearing impaired. That's-
Mayor, thank you for being here today and taking some time out of your extremely busy schedule. But the floor is all yours.
So I do have an extremely.
Oh, wait, time out. You always take credit for everything. We also have the deputy mayor here. It's not-
Going to say that, I always say that. I do have a crazy busy schedule, especially because it's budget time, and September is the worst month of me. Uh-huh.
Can we thank Tony?
Hi, Tony. Do you need a chair?
Hey, Tony, come on in and have a seat.
Yeah.
I'll see you tonight, right? See you tonight?
I just want to big one. It's 9/11.
Yeah, okay. So that was my next thing,
Okay,
but
sorry.
September is a tough month for doing the budget, and being a teacher for 34 years, when I go to the supermarket and I see the mums on display, like in August, I get like very crotchety, very cranky, because September is always a difficult month, but darling girl, how are you? So today is the 23rd anniversary of 9/11. It's my grandmother's birthday as well, 121 years old she'd be if she was alive today, so I think of that, but I know we all remember, it's right around now when the planes hit the towers. And we all remember exactly where we were when that happened. And I said to my students, you will always remember me, always. You'll never forget my name or my classroom, because we were together that day and we stayed the second period accounting class and we stayed together through the entire morning till people came and picked their children up from school. So very somber day. I taught in Levittown. Tremendous number of firemen and New York City firemen and policemen live there, so. I think we went to funerals, and then when they found the bodies later, we continued to go to funerals. It was just a tough time. And let's just hope we never forget. Tony, tonight we're having our 9/11 ceremony, and Tony, who was very involved in 9/11 rescue efforts, will be leading the Pledge of Allegiance. What would you like to say, Tony?
First of all, thanks for the honor, and this is a very important day. A day that all should remember here, and the next generation is the ones that really have to know what we're fighting for, protect ourselves and end tyranny. And I thank all the first responders who sacrificed a lot. The results weren't very good, but the rescue of the recovery, and dignity, for those that were found deceased, was remarkable. And God bless America.
Thank you, Tony. Tony continues to be someone Glen Cove can count on for any little thing that we need. We love you. We used to run against each other and I just love him and he knows it. I love you, and anytime I call upon you for anything, you're more than just a 9/11 hero. You're a Glen Cove hero, and we thank you for everything you do for our community and for our veterans. And we just thank you for being you.
Thanks.
Bye. The door is laughing at me. All right, so anyway, during the past year, I just want to say, like, this is my third year of being mayor. It's the first year of my second term. And we've made so many great accomplishments this year. And I'm going to talk about some challenges that we have coming up in the next year. But people are very quick to say, I'm a good mayor, I'm a bad mayor, but I am part of a team. I am the figurehead, and I am flanked by a bunch of wonderful people. What Donna is my deputy mayor. I could not do anything without her. I have Spiro is here as well, and Fangman and Camille are three of other people. So you cannot do anything without a great team behind you. You're nothing on your own. And I thank all of them, and any credit I ever get, they share. I take the blame for everything else, but they share all of the credit, and they're wonderful, and they know. And they get the brunt of my like insanity sometimes. It's been very stressful lately, but we thank them for everything. And here's another one of our team, Christine Rice. Okay. I was just telling him I can't do anything alone. I need a lot of great help, and I have it. So anyway, I just kind of like to go over what we've been working on. And I think because of being a 71-year-old lifelong resident, and my family came here in 1848, it was a very different Glen Cove. Glen Cove was very important to me. And I ran for office because there had been a lot of deteriorations. And we still have those challenges because we're limited to how much money we have. But I just kind of would like to go over a lot of things that we've done, and Spiro helped with a lot of these projects. As did Donna and the IDA and the CDA and everything, but I kind of go around town, so these aren't in order of priority, they're in order of traveling around town. But Stenko Park, we've really committed to upgrading Stenko Park. The last thing that we're going to be doing is putting new basketball courts in because they have a dip in them, and we find people are just loving all the outdoor activities that we're doing, and that's in addition to the pro shop and the driving range, which opened late last year. They've been a big hit. So the basketball courts will be great. We did add last year, I don't know if I talked about this, pickleball courts over in the corner. The world is pickleball crazy. So we can't have enough pickleball courts. It's just amazing. And we replaced the tennis and the pickleball nets for those people as well. People still do play tennis. And the new restaurant, The Marker, has been open outside. It's officially opening inside on Friday the 13th. So that has been a big hit. They've been open for outside business, and that's been absolutely a home run. People are loving it. Tribal Beach, very big thing. I know all the years I was on the council, the fishing pier was shut down, repaired, reopened. It is being totally refurbished. Starting on or about June 16th. We placed this September 16th. We placed a sign up for all the fishermen because they're still fishing there, just so they sort of know, weather depending and schedule depending, the wood part of the pier is going to be completely refurbished, which is really good. Get a lot of questions. The pier did an L turn years ago, and I didn't remember that until I was reminded of that. We're not doing that because all these L piers are being replaced because it's just creates more storm damage. So we're working on that. We had a new vendor at Tribals this year. The Downtown Cafe took over the operations of the vendor. They did, and I'm going to tell you honestly, Tribals where I spent my life. I haven't been there once this year. I drive through at night to see everybody else having a great time. We cruise through sometimes on a beautiful day, but I haven't had the opportunity to sit and enjoy the beach. But the Downtown Cafe was a great hit. People loved having them there. And something that I noticed when I'm driving through at night, and I give Spiro all the credit for this, over on the area was a beat up old tennis type court. It is a sand-based volleyball court. People love that. You drive by, there are always families there and people there having a great time playing volleyball. I believe anybody can play volleyball, so it's a great sport. Doesn't require a lot of skill. You mess up, you mess up. It's not a big deal, but the next thing that we're going to do around that is purchase fencing. It has that old chain link fencing, which looks terrible, but it's been a home run. And it's so nice because when you drive down there at night, you see families and young people playing, so it's good.
In the last 2 years, the bathrooms were redone.
Oh.
The park is brand new.
Yeah, we've redone the bathrooms. And this year I was there one day for an event and somebody said, Mayor, thank you for the new bathrooms. And it occurred to me that they were really from last year, but we refurbished the bathrooms. You know, everything flushes. Everything. They're certainly not fancy bathrooms. I think we got one complaint that wasn't a mirror in one of the bathrooms. So right away, a mirror went up. But I mean, I don't want a mirror when I'm at the bathroom, to tell you the truth. But we've done all the bathrooms, and Tribal has gotten over the last couple of years, and this is again thanks to Spirit, a really nice refurbishment, like just new plantings, painting,
Benches, trees.
benches,
the whole
trees, he
beach is
put
just-
palm trees in, and someone said, where's that picture? Because there's a palm tree in the back, and I said, that's a Bibles. It's really lovely, and people appreciated the beauty of it,
Now we have
until they find something.
non-residents coming in and that's
Yeah,
causing.
that's an issue.
Cause it's top 3 for fishing in New York State, Tribals Beach, and one of the top beaches in New York. And
Isn't that
they're
amazing?
chasing people out all the time.
Maybe we should charge admission, or, I don't know, we'll
Yeah.
figure that out. We purchased a great thing, and this is gonna be a big hit. I don't know why this is in order with tribals. We purchased for about $7,000 to $8,000, a striping machine. You know, when you go to parking lots and all the stripes are one, for $7,000 or $8,000, we purchased the machine. And our gentlemen are out starting striping now. They started doing crosswalks for the opening of school. They're gonna be doing the golf course. They're gonna be going everywhere. So they are our sign makers, our stripers now as well. So they're gonna fit that in with their other job. Right now, we have so many activities going on. They're busy doing signs, but they've been striping the school crossings. They're heading down to Pribals. I think they'll go to Pribals and Stanko.
Tribal
work on that.
Stadium, all over.
One of the issues with that is that it's a weather. It has to be nice weather, they have to clean it, but once they get going on it, I think the more accustomed they get to using the machine, the quicker they'll be at operating it. So that's a big thing. Morgan's, Morgan Park, we've done a lot of repairs at Morgan Park. Our next big repair is starting within the next 2 weeks. And again, we can't shut the beach down and the park down during the active season. But the municipal building says Glen Cove PD on one side and CSEA, but it's a little municipal building. It'll be the last of all the buildings at Morgan Park to get the beautiful new roof and the beautiful hardy board. And Rocco, and I don't tell everybody what to do. He picked this beautiful green color for the hardy board. Looks beautiful with the roof and the stone. The upper bathroom, got that. I call it the middle bathroom because it's kind of alongside of McLaughlin Street. That was all refurbished last year. This is the building just next to that at the parking lot. That's gonna be completely redone and have a beautiful new look. Let me see what else. The pavilions that we all used to take our boyfriends to and sit in the benches. I did anyway, the park. The pavilions are in desperate need of repair. And your office has worked on that. We got a grant to do that. And those are those structures that are like this. They have slate roofs. We had to go out of our way. We have to replace those slate roofs with a slate look roof because slate roofs are just cost prohibitive. But if you go down there to the pavilions, we keep roping them off. It looks like dinosaurs bit chunks out of the bricks up on the top. And if those pavilions are not restored and they ever do come down, aside from the danger, we will never be able to build a structure like that. So that is starting very, very soon. We got a grant for that. And the lifeguard shack will be refurbished as well. And sometimes when you do everything and you leave one building undone, it looks 10 times worse than ever. The benches continue to be replaced and people will continue to buy benches. I don't know where we're gonna put all the benches that people want to
Well,
buy.
right now, it's just refurbishing what's there. There's some available benches on the upper
For sale.
park. Yeah, the lower part, we can't, we're not able to put
But-
anymore. Part of the problem is also every time we order a bench, the shipping costs more than the actual bench
Bench, yeah.
because it's like $500 shipping just for the cement.
And I know, I would say it was 2 years ago, Donna and I have this big Tahoe and we can drive it into the park. Every once in a while, we go down there and drive through the park and some of our DPW workers, I'll tell you their names later, but they were very lovingly, they're Glen Covers, taking all the wood off the benches and putting beautiful new wood on, putting the plates back on. And they've done that, we didn't have to hire out for that. Okay, Pascucci Field, which is on the side of the train station. And this is a Spiro thing. We've had the field sodded and I drove down there one day. A beautiful walkway goes all the way from the parking lot, all the way around to the back. And we added more pickleball courts and a multi-purpose play area. So we're trying to promote recreation, get out of your house, let's do things. That bathroom has been also redone, has a new floor and all new fixtures. And I'm proud to say, and this is Spiro, he did this at the stadium last year, a flagpole will be installed. Did it get installed yet?
The
this week?
base was cemented in,
Yeah.
we're waiting for it to cure. Today, tomorrow should be up.
flagpole should be up at Pascucci Field, the beautiful flagpole, so that has a lot of activity. And I believe, like, we've had some bad activity there in the past. When you bring new life to areas, it brings different people, kind of people that we want hanging around in our park. Not a lay on the bench and
We opened it all up. They used to
not
be
a lay on the
trees,
bench and drink alcohol. It's
shrubs.
all opened up and it's beautiful. And something Spiro's been doing is, and you don't even think about this, but he's put these nice banners on. It says Glen Cove pickleball, Glen Cove soccer, you know, he's done that and it's really very nice. So if you're out riding around, take a ride in there. It's really lovely. Okay, I have some municipal stuff that's here and it's really in no specific order, but these are things, a lot of you are Glen Cove residents and taxpayers. We passed a new master plan at the July council meeting, I think, Camille. It passed unanimously. A lot of people, some of you were involved in the master plan development. It passed. So we're very happy that it was about a year and a half and the firm that we hired was wonderful. We were right on schedule. We were maybe 1 month behind. And it was probably our fault that we were 1 month behind because we wanted them to revise something. So that passed. We've been working on our capital plan and we have, and I'm very big on this, roofs. If you own a home and you know you have a hole in your roof, it doesn't matter what you do to your home. If you have a hole in your roof, it just doesn't make sense. So the fire department, the police department, the EMS building, and the DPW buildings all got new roofs after many, many years of neglect. The roof on the DPW building blew off a part of it, and we did get some insurance proceeds for that, but rather than just fix that portion, we restored the entire roof and the DP, because all of our tools are in there, all of our equipment is in there, and everything just got saturated and soaked. We also had to waterproof the back of the building, because it's down there by the water, but you know, we need to preserve our buildings, so that was years of neglect. If you walk up Glen Street and you go up by the Bastilli Center, the other side of Pulaski, don't ask me north, south, east, or west. You cross over Pulaski if you're walking toward the senior center. We got only sidewalks on both sides of the street, and that was partially through a grant. So that was wonderful. Our parking garages are on my list of things that I'm working on, but he spends a lot of talk about the parking garages. We have section and repairing sections of the parking garage. There was a walkway 2 summers ago we did going out onto the behind what I call Hilliard's. So where is Hilliard's? What is in Hilliard's now? Yeah, I know.
I don't know what.
Behind the Dominican Deli, we opened that sidewalk up and there's a sectioned off. We've been working on the stairs, working on the ceilings, our parking garages. I'll get into them, but we're doing repairs on them as well. That's the end. Another kind of a sad thing, we have to put cameras everywhere. Because obviously there's some kind of a thing called TikTok. And I didn't raise my children, nor was I raised to go out and vandalize a brand new project. So what happens is we had done something at Morgan Park last summer. And we finished it and it was all beautiful and Spiro goes down. The soap dishes are in the bathrooms. They just they throw the soap dishes in the toilets and take pictures and post it. They just have nothing to do but do things like that. So we have cameras just about everywhere. What happened on the 4th of July?
4th of July, the brand new bathroom down on Morgan's, they ripped out the sink.
No, I mean, like, it's not like it fell off or somebody clogged the toilet or did something. It's pure vandalism. And it's almost like when we get something done, it has to be christened by a vandal. So sadly, we have cameras everywhere. And who's the camera watcher?
Well, just at the parks. The cameras are there to protect both sides. It
So
protects our staff and the community.
You're watching the cameras in the toilet, right?
I watch the cameras at home.
Oh, no. It's not watching
No,
cameras in the
it's
toilet.
outside.
But you know, it's scary because there's cameras everywhere in City Hall and you just, you know, can't scratch your rear end or do anything. You have to be very careful. There's cameras everywhere. And I know like when there's things happening around town, the police are calling people and they're going to the cameras. I'm like, boy, you have to really be on your best behavior everywhere you go. Not that I'm not. Some, you may not be. You may really not be. So, we also, have just repaired or just about finished with repairing the tidal gates at Morgan Island Bridge, East Island Bridge. Carolyn lived, we went over that we've had issues with the title gates. They're ancient, they probably were historic. I don't think that people make title gates, but they had to be crafted to go inside the arches. All the hardware had to be crafted. So it's very, very complex, and they have to be raised and lowered at certain times of the year. And right before they finish, our DPW workers, who we have some of the most wonderful DPW workers. I have 3 men that are gonna go down there and be trained how to raise and lower the title gates. That will help with the flooding on DeSoris Pond, which is another thing which has flooded the golf course. We've had a lot of challenges this year. Also in the capital plan last year, we ordered 2 new ambulances. They are not here yet. Our ambulances were over 20 years old. And looking at the age of a lot of us in this room, we want an ambulance there when we need it.
Thank you, Mayor, thank you.
Well, I'm probably the oldest one here besides Donna, so.
Sorry. The law done.
But I know our ambulances go to the senior center, they go all around town, and we've ordered 2 new ambulances, which was a very big thing. Right before I became the mayor and right after I became the mayor, brand new fire trucks were ordered. So that was in 2021 and 2022. They are almost here. They're out on the island and they're getting whatever they get done, decal, all the equipment gets loaded on them. But they should be here by the end of next week. It's just amazing, right? And they are very, very old, except for the hook and ladder truck. We've ordered new garbage trucks too. Our garbage trucks were very, very old. The first thing you do when you get a job like I have, they come in and say, the garbage trucks are 50 years old. Well, not much we can really do about that. They're very, very expensive. Both arrived, so one came and one body is waiting to be delivered. So I guess the garbage truck comes in 2 pieces. And the body is the part that compacts the garbage. So they're here. The men will be very happy with that. Because, we've had garbage truck. We have our men out there working. And one day the thing that comes down and crushes the garbage kind of fell out of the back of the truck. And we're just so thankful nobody was hurt. So, these are not extravagant things. Garbage trucks are not an extravagance. This stuff needs to be replaced. It needs to be replaced long ago. And again, I have here on the striping machine, and I can't figure out for the life of me why for $7,000 to $8,000, between $7,000 and $8,000, why we didn't get that many, many years ago. So you should start to see improvements there with the stripe. In City Hall, and mayors, when Carolyn was the deputy mayor, never had to deal with technology. We've had to do all kinds of technology upgrades. We've automated processes and procedures in City Hall, easier public interface. So a lot of people can do things online. I do think people do like to come to City Hall and pay their taxes, but these things should be easier for you to use.
Change the lighting in City Hall
We
too.
changed all the lighting in City Hall. I hated that. I'm not crazy about the new lighting in my office. We've got all LED lighting inside of City Hall.
I failed you. The garbage cans are on city.
Okay. If you take a look outside, we have solar trash compactors. And you'll see them around the downtown area, and there's the one up Broadway. And they are just beautiful. They have Morgan Park on them. We talked about selling rental space on them, but we have pictures of Morgan Park on them. And if you look out the window, you can't see because the roof is there, but you'll see the trash compactors. New York City has put them all over the place because rats can't get into the solar compactors. I guess if they can, they'll get crushed. But they're actually beautiful, and we will be looking to get more of those. We got our first set to see how they worked out. People do seem to like them. One issue we've had with those is people are putting their household garbage in those. And the garbage cans in the city, as you all know, are for, like your garbage from your coffee or your garbage from your lunch. It's not for your household garbage. So we've had one issue with that, which we've had to straighten out. Police department, since I've been the mayor for 2 years and 3 months, we've had 2 brand new police officers this year and a total of 10 new police officers in the city of Glen Cove. I'm very big at backing the blue. We all use them. We read the police reports every day. They are just wonderful. We've made 2 sergeant promotions this year as well from our regular ranks. We promoted Brian Miller and Kristen Ferranti Dimitropoulos to sergeants. So that's been really great, and our police officers are wonderful. Many of them do live here or have lived here for a large part of their life. So it's really nice when you live in a community like Glen Cove. You may see somebody who looks nice and you know they're not. And you may see somebody who looks creepy and you know they're not. So it's a great advantage having all these wonderful young police officers. This year, late last year, I hired a new code enforcement director. Her name is Cindy Ayers. We're making major strides with code enforcement. She was the prosecutor in the court downstairs, and she loved being in Glen Cove. She was here for many, many years. And they were doing a shift in personnel, and she was going to have to go some other place to some other place. She didn't know where she was going to end up. And so we hired her. And she is doing a phenomenal job. She's a prosecutor, she's an attorney, and she is out. Someone called me yesterday and was telling me their whole story. Called her, put her in touch with this person, and it's almost resolved immediately. It's been something that's been going on for years. So if you have any code enforcement things, I mean, people, and also people will tell me, I have code enforcement issues, I don't want to call it in. Call me. I'll report it. It doesn't matter. You know, it is confidential, but people are still worried about making code enforcement reports. Being said, we don't have overcrowding, we don't have problems, but we are tackling them. She's been a home run, right, Donna?
Yes.
She's been an
Definitely.
absolute home run in a great many ways. There's a fire the other night, when there's an episode and there's mattresses in the basement, she gets called and she goes. And sadly, we catch a lot of things when serious incidences happen, but better than not catching them at all. Something, coming to the end of my good points, something I'm very, very pleased is that we got a Moody's upgrade to Baa1 this year. We got for 2 years, Outlook upgrades went from Baa2 negative to Baa or stable to positive. This time we got an actual upgrade to Baa1, which is very big, and we haven't had a number like that, a rating like that in 14 years. So that's very good. Let's see how long that lasts, because now I'm going to tell you what my challenges are. So, having this many great things is wonderful, but having these other things keep me awake at night. And I've been a little cranky. On Monday morning, I came in, I was a little cranky. I apologize to everybody when I get here right away, but it's very hard, because the hardest thing about being the mayor is that you want everybody to be happy, or you at least want 98% of people to be happy. My challenges this year are at the golf course. I've made major improvements to the golf course, but the course itself, and I'm on live stream, so the course itself needs major renovation and major work. And I don't want to get into that, but we are committed to paving the cart paths. We're going to do renovations too. We're putting out a bid for a capital borrow for a sprinkler system. The sprinkler system, they believe, is the original sprinkler system, and it leaks. So we have water where we don't want water, and we have dryness where we need the water. So we're going to be doing that. And I'm going to be appointing somebody from my office from my staff to be my eyes at the golf course, because it's much bigger than the gentleman there could handle. I'm going to hire 2 more full-timers. So, due to circumstances outside of our control, the weed killer didn't get applied this year, and that caused us a great many problems. Also, the flooding from the pond, tidal gates is going to fix. It all goes together, kind of destroyed hole number 2. And in the last storm, the bridge got washed away again. So we have a lot of things weather related, but it's okay. I have to remind myself, I signed up for all of this. Okay. Okay. As you know, you probably, if you live here, got calls from me. We've had major water issues. And we've had major water issues pretty much because people, well, there's reasons, but it's very hard to control people's sprinkling behavior. They sprinkle their lawns, and we can see our tanks go from, let's say, 20 feet down to 14 feet overnight from sprinkling. Now, I have crabgrass, and if you drive past my house, I think it looks beautiful, but people don't want to have that. We respect that, but anyway, We have just opened the Seaman Road water well. After a couple of years, it's finally open. Probably gonna have a publicity stunt, a ribbon cutting or something there with our water workers. So that is taking a tremendous amount of pressure off. But in July, when I was making those robocalls, there are 3 water tanks, water wells at Duck Pond Road. One was down. It needed a pump. We had ordered the pump a long time ago. And then, no, there's a pump and there's a motor. We had ordered a motor a long time ago, and on the other well, the pump went down. So well 32 was working 24/7. We just about get those 2 fixed, and that went down. I mean, these things are all very, very old. We bought, when I was on the city council, Lou Salino, who has recently passed away, we bought a used air stripper. That all has to be redone. We have money in place to do that, but you have to do major water improvements during the off season. So right now, Nancy Court, now that Seaman Road is up and Duck Pond Road is running, Kelly Street is running, they all have little issues. Now we're gonna shut down Nancy Court and completely refurbish that. That's going to start momentarily. So, we should be fine with the water, but everything that could go wrong at the same time did. And Seaman Road was about to open, and you just can't turn on the water well. There's all kinds of testing and processes. So we had that, but we're in a much better place now. But to try to tell people you can only sprinkle every other day. And like, I have neighbors that sprinkle for 8 hours at a time. And okay, whatever. Parking garage, we're working on the parking garages. They're in terrible condition. We probably need $40 million to rebuild the parking garages. There's a big discussion, and the way to get grants for parking garages, Camille, is put apartments on top of them. And I don't think that most of us want that. So we're looking for other sources and other ways to pay, and we're fixing our parking garages as we go. Every 3 years, a study is done for the safety of the garages. That is happening next week. So, I mean, we do have things that happen. A lot of stuff that crumbles, that's to cover the rebar. That's like the plaster in your house. It doesn't serve a function, but it looks ugly. So we're going to be coming up with some decisions like that. And then on August 6th, maybe, or 8th, we had that torrential. Oh, I was supposed to be the National Night Out honoree. I was supposed to be the queen of the city. As the devil of DeSoris Lane, we had heavy duty flooding. The police tried to have the National Night Out. They canceled it 20 minutes before it was about to start. I said, okay, guys, I'm going home and put on my pajamas. I put on my rain boots. We were on Woolsey Avenue with torrential flooding, and the people's homes weren't really ruined, but their yards flood. And Woolsey, there's like a part on Woolsey that's low, but water was running from Poplar, from Chestnut, pooling all there, going, and people's yards go downhill a little bit. So we had terrible flooding, only to have that repeated again 2 weeks later, less than 2 weeks later. So we are working on that. We have rented at this time a Vector truck, and we have Keith and his team working on going into and cleaning out the drains. We've had some issues. We have tree roots in some of those drains. So people may be very sad when some of those little street trees have to come down because the roots are in the drain system, but we've hired an engineer to go through all of this as well. We've had flooding in pockets of Glen Cove, flooding down Elm Avenue, but that doesn't destroy people's property. So, and we've also encouraged anyone who has had a flooding or had any damage. We put up a link on my Facebook page and on the website to interface with the county, because hopefully that helps us to get money, but very few people. It's not like out in Suffolk County. Thank God we weren't like Suffolk County, but we haven't had a lot of response up to this point. I don't know what the response was since Friday, but maybe 20 people had put down, which is terrible for those 20 people, but it doesn't help us. So we'll see where that is at today. If you're driving around Glen Cove, and I just want to say, I'm pretty much finished because we have a new drone, and we have a drone operator, and that is Spiro. Spiro's our drone operator.
I want to make sure.
He has a drone. He's going to assist us with certain projects and also do promotional things and such as that. And if you drive around, we really want to thank the Summer Youth Employment Program, which is part of the Glen Cove Youth Bureau, and you see the painting on the murals. When you're driving down from Highland Road, just see a little blip, they did like water, and I don't see that anymore, I see the side that didn't get done. No, I know. But you'll see that was done by the Summer Youth Employment, and the other side needs to be done, and then if you go inside, there's a big mural kind of behind La Bussola, and if you go along to the side, there's beautiful flowers painted. And people from the senior center helps as part of the age-friendly program, so we hoping to get, the best thing to do is get the kids and the seniors together, and it happened to be a very hot day when we were out there, right, Christine? Christine was wonderful. She was there making sure her seniors got up and walked around and they were hydrated, and so it's really wonderful, wonderful program. It was a great project.
It was. One thing that the mayor doesn't say is, and I can speak for this because I'm fortunate enough to work in this building. We did a lot. She continues to help and push us and want more from us, but with all this done, not one program has gotten cut. The Youth Bureau is thriving, the Senior Center is thriving. We offer more than anything we've ever offered before for the community and the residents. For Pam to say no, it's gotta be no. She will do everything she can to make the no into a yes. With the help of council and the mayor, we're really going in the right direction. I mean, just look around. It's a lot of work. Gabor is my neighbor, it's a good thing I don't see him, but it doesn't see me
I
either.
also forgot, because these things aren't glamorous. But the senior center got all new HVAC. We have to pay for we have to do things that aren't glamorous, like roads. The senior center got an all new HVAC system.
The
It took
fencing
a
at the
while.
stadium.
Time out, wait a minute. And they got a new walk-in refrigerator, which is not something that's wonderful, you're never gonna see it, but it's such a help to the people that work there and for the programs that Christine does and people that cook. Fencing at the stadium, lots of
There's a lot
things.
of things.
If you just
And
drive
the amount of
around.
events that have been going
Right.
on, we have our
Right.
baseball.
You
game.
gotta raise so much.
Welcome on, Ronnie. Like new PR person.
I have a new PR person, my other PR person, left. And I have a new PR person, so if you look at my Facebook page and our webpage, it's beautiful, she's doing a great job. So, and yeah, we promote anything you want us to promote. We promote Jill's events, anything that you want us to promote, as long as we can, we're happy to promote events. And she does great design, we're having a sidewalk sale. People love that. I don't love it. I spend a lot of money at those things. We're having a sidewalk sale Saturday and Sunday in town, street fair. Street fair, and some of the shopkeepers will be able to bring merchandise out. And Friday night, we're having a vintage baseball game. And tonight, Friday night, we're having the vintage baseball game, which was postponed from June. And tonight, we're having our 9/11 ceremony at 6:30, which is somber, but lovely.
I have to tell you a story. Last weekend, around 4 families came together, friends. And one of my friends said, Spiro was not invited to that. And the topic went on to living in Glen Cove. And everybody agreed on living in Glen Cove is a wonderful thing. We all travel a lot, and coming home is a treat. It's really nice. All that said, I have a small question and a large question. The small question is, you said that if everything is fixed and something is not fixed, it's 10 times worse. Going to Morgan Park, the pergolas, the one at the end.
That's on our list.
That's good.
on our list.
And the one on the top.
The one on the top's gotta get on the list. It's kinda hard.
Which one on the
The
top?
one
A
on the
tree-
top,
A tree fell
tree
on it.
fell on it, and they removed the tree, but it needs a small amount of work.
So I
You
think
can do it.
part of the problem is that we want to bring back, you're talking about the Chinese,
No,
with the.
up high, up
Yeah,
high.
all the way on top.
Yeah,
So-
other than-
So we're trying to find. We don't wanna just put any kind of roofing material. I spoke with Rocco about this yesterday. We
Yeah.
were in Ann's office. We don't wanna just put any type of beams on that because it's
Yeah.
gonna lose its flavor. So we're looking to find rustic wood
Okay.
that we can, but it is on the list to be
Yeah,
fixed.
it's much
So-
bigger than these two tables.
Yeah.
Right, So if you, we called that the Chinese Love House at the end of the walkway that we refurbished.
Chinese Love House.
They called it the Chinese Love House when I was a kid. I have
You
no
call
idea.
it the Chinese.
I call
No.
it the tea house. I don't know,
Well, but yeah, so whatever, I don't,
Now
I
I
don't
know
know.
what to use it for.
But that is, well, like when we replaced the stairs, the railing from the stairs was made of old tree limbs.
So,
So we can't do that. And it's certainly not compliant in any way. And that's what is at the top of that Japanese tea house.
Chinese
It's
tea.
done by limb, so it has to be
Okay.
done.
The large question.
She's gonna find-
I read that the ferry is probably going to be postponed indefinitely and we may have to pay back the
No.
$60 million.
No.
What's the
We're not.
update on that?
So we, so I'm gonna be brutally honest here.
Please.
We worked very hard and Camille down there worked very, very hard. We were trying to run a ferry pilot. And to run the ferry pilot, the city does not have the money to run that, nor can the ticket purchasers pay for the entire ferry. So we had a subsidy from RXR for $1 million. The prior administration used some of that to do a study. So I believe we had about $875,000. To run the ferry, we would have needed $250,000 of that subsidy. Which I think is fine, and you know, that's about $125 a month, and that would have covered it. And we kind of based on if the ferry runs half full and at $40 a ticket, and you know, we had all these things done. When we went to RXR, who's holding the money, and we asked them for the money, they said we have to incur the loss before they give us the money. That we have to lose the $250. In September and October, at this time of the year, I don't have the money to lose. You know, it's very complicated because I like to spend and do all these things, but this is not my money.
Yeah.
You know, I don't just have my husband to account to when I overspend, I have all of Glen Cove. So, I mean, it's really the truth. So, I do believe we would prevail, but I don't know that I want to get into a fight at this time and at the end of the year to incur a loss. So that is something we will revisit. Camille and Ann's office worked so hard on that. So the hardest thing for me to do is to tell them we're putting it on hold because we've worked hard on this in the past. But
So what's gonna prevent them from demanding the money back?
we'll be,
What is it?
they're
state
saying
or
I have to
federal?
expend the money. We have gotten extensions on the clawback. We've gotten plenty of extensions on the clawback. So we want them, when I asked for them to forgive it, they looked at me like I was crazy and said, it's not 16.6 million, it's far more. We spent a lot more than that.
Mhm.
But they're not, look, they would bankrupt us. And no one's gonna do that to us. I can't imagine. So, but we tried to run the ferry in good faith. We also were approached this summer, for next summer, by a party boat that wants to come here. And they pretty much committed to us. And they've come from Port Washington. That would be so nice. Like you could take a brunch boat or, a dinner, an evening cruise or whatever. And I dumped that on you.
So what happened is, well, just to go back to the whole ferry terminal. So we're trying to get creative with that space. It's a beautiful space. People love that space. So Donna and myself, and we worked on a plan. And what we started doing is we're renting it for short-term rent. Like, we don't want somebody like that ugly eyesore that was sitting there for the longest time. It's gone. So
the
now,
boat.
so now people come and they rent the ferry terminal spot for 24 hours, 48 hours max. And we'll take your organizations out on a party boat or something like that. So it gives them a place to dock. The tiki boat that Pam is talking
Port
about
tiki.
is going to be at Glen Cove Marina, which is right by Brewers. So we're utilizing and we're learning to utilize our canal a lot better. But we're opening up to different options. So let's say the Rotary would like to do a wine night on a boat. You would call me, or your charter would call us, and we'd say, okay, how many feet is your boat? We would give them an application. They would pay according to the footage of the boat, and then they can use that boat. You guys can go down there, leave. I believe we have one trip going out next week again.
It's a detriment.
So there's buzz coming in. We also approached a fishing boat to try and bring fishing back into Glen Cove. The problem with the fishing boat was that the gentleman wants to buy a brand new boat to keep it in Glen Cove. But it takes about 3 years for a boat to be fixed and purchased. And Pam, doing the right thing, would not give them an okay for 3 years from now because she doesn't know if she's gonna be
Can't tie
here.
it up, yeah, but I
So-
can't tie the space up for somebody else as well.
We're
for free.
looking for creative ideas to keep life down.
To bring life down there.
You can't use anything, get away from me. That's what they want.
Sharon told me that she wants me to mention that, I,
Okay,
Yeah.
so for those of you who know me, you know me essentially through the SAFE Agency, which is a not-for-profit alcohol and substance abuse prevention agency run out of here out of City Hall. But part of what I do, and I've done since 1993, is I administer the city's employee assistance program. So I work with employees and their families who have behavioral health challenges, mental health, chemical dependency. And that's free of charge for the employee, their families, significant others, whatever. I have to say that I've been around a very long time. I had the pleasure of working and essentially growing up and being raised by this beautiful environment of City Hall where there's camaraderie and there's a lot of caring for our colleagues and one another. This administration is deeply invested in the health and wellness of their employees, and it's not just lip service, and it goes far beyond what's in the drug and alcohol policy and the personnel policies and procedures. There's a lot of investment in helping and supporting employees who have troubles to address those issues and get back to work, which is extremely important in maintaining morale and maintaining a healthy drug and alcohol-free workforce. And for that, I like
We
to
try.
thank you, and
We
I'd like
try.
to thank you and all of my colleagues all working together to try to help people keep their jobs as opposed to terminating them. And from a behavioral health perspective, I am very, very grateful for that, because without that support, I would not be successful as I am in getting people back to their jobs. When Carolyn and I years ago worked on the drug and alcohol policy, I always had a hotline to Dr. Vogren for years, decades. When the hospital got rid of their behavioral health program in 2012, Melillo and now Charles Evans really stepped up to bear the brunt of the lack of services here. So I just want to thank my colleagues around the table, and I want to thank this administration for supporting SAFE and supporting what I do. It's not an easy job what I do, and many times it's extremely upsetting to work with troubled families who have a potential loss of income because the breadwinner has to be rehabilitated or, not present. So thank you for what you guys do for the people here.
well, just don't cross me. And just don't take advantage of my good nature. I think that's really, I
Well,
won't
you have a very good nature.
help
and you go above and
help
beyond.
anybody, just. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, can I ask you unrelated to that? Thank you, Cheryl.
Sure. I'm being live streamed. Am I being live?
Yeah,
No, it's not live.
no one's watching.
It's recorded.
We have one viewer.
What
She's
is
got
the
the okay
status of the senior center parking lot and that? whole
I
thing?
really don't know. They're coming before the IDA soon,
Okay.
but the fact that that went to pass is just shocking, but we'll probably be looking to find extra parking. We're getting 14 spaces inside the new building. He has promised us that, but when you drive by the senior center parking lot, it's a lot more than 14 cars there at lunchtime. And this car's in and out all day. So I believe we will probably relocate the employees and keep the on-site spaces for the seniors. See what else we can come up with,
Carolyn, I had many conversations with the builder, because in our conversations over the last couple of years, he promised us a lot. He promised us, well, originally it was valet, and more spots than the 13, it was supposed to be 18 or 19. And then
I
she
think
said
it's
it was
16.
13,
Mhm.
16 is what we have, but all they have left, all they can give us is 13. So they originally had said, it's fine, what we're gonna do is we're gonna give you a fob, and you just have an employee stand at the, because I told them he has to have a gate, or else there's gonna be people from all over the place parking there, and the residents are gonna get upset. We're not gonna have our parking. So they talked about a fob, but I don't have an employee to stand out there to get everybody in, then it's gonna be a code, we came to an agreement as best as we could accept, how they were gonna monitor the 13 spots to make sure that the seniors have their spots, that the residents overnight won't have friends stay over, and those cars will still be there. How is it gonna be? Are they gonna be towed? Are they gonna be monitored? How that's gonna be? So we went back and forth and with Tip and trying to figure out the best avenue that we could do. It's not perfect.
Can
Right.
you keep the museum in line too, because we have, you know, mostly night events. And that's where a lot of the people park.
Well, I'd asked for night events too, but originally they said they'd give it to us, but that's not.
Yeah, probably a lot of
Not
the
even
tenants are
this
home that
interesting.
night, so,
Yeah.
it's a challenge, and it's funny, because unbeknownst to Christine, we looked at a couple of spaces for the senior center. Our senior center is just beautiful. We took Scott in and looked, I mean, there's just so much space there. So, we have a couple of ideas. Maybe a little far-fetched, we do have a couple of ideas, but, it's just, it's awful. He's coming, to the idea.
Registration, 10 registrations yesterday alone for new members.
And the parking over there right now is a nightmare between, I mean, we have a hard time finding spots.
Yeah,
even at the-
certainly.
It's bad. I don't know if it's the new tenants that came upstairs with that filth bomb. I don't know if it's the new car guy that moved in, but every time I have to go to the youth bureau, I leave my car double parked. There's just nowhere to park. So, yeah, I asked Jim to come by and take a look and
See
see
if he
what
could-
signs are actually allowed to be up, because
Mhm.
they're claiming spaces.
Spaces, right?
After Jim sold that building, it just, everything went haywire.
They put their signs up. So, I mean, we looked at a couple of ideas for the senior center, but we just said there's so much vast space there. We took, yeah, you know, Scott was in there and we tried to calculate the amount of square footage, just a lot of space, so
Okay.
they're coming in front of the IDA at the next step.
Do you know what new one that is?
Soon, yeah, soon. Anything else? We had a fabulous, and this is Jill's second year being our downtown bid director, and we had a I had to actually go to Virginia one weekend, work at the feast one weekend. I had 3 weekends I could not go there. I don't think I ever really missed it except for the feast. But we had a fabulous lineup of music. It was really wonderful, and thank you. And she does it with such grace and calm and gets the job done so well, and we thank you. We thank you for what you do. It's just beautiful. People love the downtown sounds. And we, one was a rain out, and I left and I got home and I could hear the music. So the band waited out the heavy rain. That was when we were having those heavy rains. But we had a Saturday night concert, and people, can we do this every Saturday night? No, we can't. But it was really great and worked out great. You did a great lineup.
Thank you for letting us have that last concert on Saturday, so it worked out really.
People loved it.
Yeah.
And the last 2 Friday nights had a blockbuster crowd. I mean, there's always a crowd. The last 2 Friday nights had a scary amount of people there. A fabulous crowd. People loved it. People are dancing, kids are playing on the side street. It's really, really nice. Saturday night was a little quieter. It was the Rolling Stones, but it was just wonderful.
Notice the pattern, nothing from my youth, thing from my age. Just,
What's your age group?
I don't know,
45?
maybe 90s, 2000s, I don't know, put a little.
So you used to be
freestyle
young,
there,
you used to be
right,
young.
right.
You used to be young and you'll get to be old. You're in the middle. You're waiting now.
The wait.
You think
It's
about
turn.
you think about the past and you look forward to the future. You're 45 is kind of. I have to pick on him.
You see the white that I'm getting? I never had these issues. These people remember me in 20 years. I never had this.
Get used to it.
I know.
I don't have any mics, I say it right now.
Your age,
She's more white, so white now.
your age is the age that we all love to be. Because it's taking your kids to their ball games and very family and taking your kids to all their games and doing all their activities. That's when you make your lifetime friends at the age that you're at. And last few years.
Then I might lose my mind, I don't know.
But it's really true. I mean, I didn't realize it, Spiro, but the best time of my life was when my kids were doing all these activities, right, at the stadium, right? The Smalls were all down there, we were all down there, and Donna ran the food concession at the stadium, and she was involved.
I worked for-
I mean, you know, we were all down there.
Minimizing, I ain't going.
And when my daughter had her, when my daughter had
the
her,
hot dogs.
when my daughter My daughter had the last swim meet, I thought I was so happy, and then I had nothing to do after that. It's like, thank God I don't have to do this anymore, and then it's all over. And now our grandchildren, we
Yeah.
try to follow their things. So you're at the best time in your life, and you don't always know it, but.
All right, thank you, Mayor. We have to get back to work. Thank you for being here. Anyone else have any other questions for the mayor? The deputy mayor, anyone? All right. Anyone have any announcements or questions in general? Besides Janae, who might keep us here another hour. You know what, and Christine, before we get into that, Christine, we'll go first. You know what we didn't do? We didn't go around the room.
Say who we are.
Yes,
That's your fault.
because I needed to give you 3 hours to talk.
Now we do it.
Now we can do it.
We don't-
You know who I am. Next.
I'm Jamae. We know.
I mean,
I am with the Waterfront Center in Oyster Bay and also with the Glen Cove Chamber of Commerce. And I have stuff to talk about, but I will wait my turn, I think, or should I not?
No, wait, let's go around the room.
Okay, go around the room. And I'm the treasurer.
Ron Ramel representing AARP Long Island.
Carolyn Wilson, North Shore Historical Museum.
Normal Williams, Glen Cove EOC. John Jarvis, CEC Healthcare. And Ogren also CEC.
Downtown Bay. Marion Small, St. Francisco Fall, and Liverpool.
Nancy Rosenfeld, Dr. Alberta Hersey Foundation.
Jorge Carrera de la Puerto Rico.
Camille Byrne, CBA. Helen Kosky, Legal Consultants. Larry Caballero, I work for SAFE, and I'm also bilingual outreach worker for Glen Cove. Maria Fernanda Bardo, Glen Cove Public Library.
Judith Rivera, Care First Home Solutions.
Christine Rice, Glencoe Senior Center, and Nash Daughters.
Mackenzie, Glencoe PLC.
Albuquerque Rotary International.
Donna McNaughton, Deputy Mayor.
Sharon Harris, they think.
Tony Jimenez, Veterans Affairs.
and Pam, that's it.
Christine, get an announcement.
Yes, just two things. Nash has their grand opening ribbon cutting, Saturday, September 21st. From 10 to 12 at the VFW. on Brook Street. So everybody is welcome. This is Dan Stone, volunteers, everybody. Also, our senior day is, October 19th. And that's gonna be 11:30 to 2. It's gonna be at the senior center. Inside, we were trying to figure out outside other locations, but, we'll be sending out invitations and flyers and all the information on that to everybody as well.
Who's the honoree this year?
There's 3 or 4 others.
Okay.
We have, Jill, who is one of our honorees. We have Carolyn Ipel, who is one, Mercedes Morales, a volunteer, and, one more. Sorry, I don't have it in front of me.
And what
Oh,
day
it's
is,
Spiro.
and what day is it? October.
He's holding his breath.
I thought I got out of it.
It's the 19th at 11:30, correct? I have that.
That's it.
We have so much stuff going.
Oh,
Okay, Janae.
Oh, thank you.
Janae is wonderful. She has a great husband. They're very involved in the chamber and they have a great family and we want them to move to Glen Cove.
You're such a politician.
No, I'm not. I like nice families.
Oh, thank you. So everybody got one of these
She
lovely
isn't big.
pieces of paper that has hopefully most of our locations that we're gonna be having the event. Glengarriff, thank you again for hosting our December holiday party. I don't know if you guys didn't go last year because you don't want to miss it. It was an amazing spread of food that they did an amazing, wonderful job, and we all enjoyed that. So save the date for December 11th. The other dates are still open, so if you have a location that you want to host us, I know the library had hosted us last year. If you guys want to host us again, that was a great location. We can confirm what date. Anybody else have any spots available? That would be great. Yeah, this is. And then this is the QR link for if you want to share like your own flyers and everything that's on our Facebook group posting. So you can do the QR code, and you could always email info@IAC Glen Cove, and I get that email, and I usually email everybody out and post it on our Facebook as well, but you could do it yourself as well. And then since I work at the Waterfront Center, we're right in Oyster Bay, and we obviously host everybody from all over. We have a regatta, so if anybody likes sailing or wants to support education and recreation on the water, that's basically what we do. I handed this oyster dredge item A flyer to Spiro because we are looking for kind of a permanent location for this to really kind of base out of, and that's more of a conversation we can have later. But it's a new vessel that we just launched that was built by volunteers right in Oyster Bay, which has a long history. It's really amazing organization.
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Before we go into this conversation, do
Yeah.
you think possibly we can arrange for a day that one of the historic ships can come to Glen Cove?
Yeah.
And we
That would be great.
introduce it to the community, this is what's down the road, but this, you know,
Well,
do something
it's
like a lesson day.
Well, there's a flyer down there, yes. And there's a flyer down there that says Family Fall Festival. Maybe we could do it on the day that we're hosting the Glen Cove
When is that?
Chambers Fall Festival.
That's next week.
That is.
Next week already.
Is it next week? I
It's
think
the
it's
24th, I think,
It's the 28th.
28th.
Yeah, it's the 28th. So that's, again, something else I'm a part of, but that's right over at Simpkin Park, which is in the RXR properties over there. So we are not far from the ferry terminal. It's gonna be right by the playground is where we host that event. So maybe we could dock it right by that location somehow. We could talk
We'll
about this
talk
offline.
later, 'cause I gotta get insurance.
So that is another thing that I wanted to promote. If you want to be a part of it as a company or, you know, an agency, just let me know. It's gonna be, I think it's, if you're a member of the chamber, it's $50. If you're not, it's $125 for a vendor table. We have about 40 vendor tables already, and we have a good amount of sponsors, but if you're looking to sponsor, get your name out there. This is like a great event. Cliff, my awesome husband, does an amazing job at promoting this event and getting it out there. You'll start seeing flyers and signs and billboards and everything that we have, so your name will be out there. And we hope to have a couple thousand people. Like the first year we had this event, which was 3 years, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, this is the third annual. It was amazing. Then the next year was the rainy,
Yeah,
no,
that was
every
like- that
weekend
was
was
last
rained
year.
out.
Last
Everything
year
was
was-
rained out. We still had it, but it was rained out. This year it's not gonna rain. And it's gonna be beautiful, so we really want you there. It's gonna be an amazing event. And last but not least, again, back to the Waterfront Center. If you have a puppy and you like paddling, you can do our puppy paddle tour, which is on September 14th, which is coming up. And there's a lot of, yeah, isn't it cute? There's a lot of fun things. So, and if you have like a group of kids that you want to have, or adults even, that they want to learn about what's in the water that we all live right next to. We do classes, we come to you, you can come to us. There's a lot of fun things. There's so much. The Waterfront Center is kind of like, in my world, kind of feels like the Y, because the Y has all these different directions of who they cater to and what they do. So does the Waterfront Center. So it's a really cool organization. You can talk to me more about it. I will stop talking.
I just want to say one thing about the Chamber of Commerce, and people are very sick of hearing me say this, but none of you have heard me say this. I would say my first year being mayor, we were well into the season, and I went to the Nassau County thing of chambers. And I get there, and very important people were sitting all the way up on a dais, and I was at a table with our chamber. We also have a Spanish Chamber of Commerce. But they were talking about all the great things that chambers are doing. And one thing I noticed from being a councilwoman to then after COVID, then coming in here, the growth in our chamber was just fabulous.
Yes.
It just, the growth, the
We have
amount of
over
activity.
230 members.
At the end of that meeting, that luncheon, I go up to the head guy named Frank Camerano,
Mhm.
and I say, excuse me. I'm the mayor of Glen Cove. We have the most rapidly growing Chamber of Commerce in Glen Cove, and you didn't mention, I gave him the business big time. And gave me the business back, and I said, you're wrong. And he said, well, they still have a lot of it, whatever I'm not gonna get into what he said. He said, you're wrong. And I said, okay, I'm not wrong. Monday, I get a phone call. This man wants to have a meeting with you. I guess he went home and thought about it. And he said, I need him to have a meeting with that spunky mayor who defended her Chamber of Commerce. And he came here and he saw for himself the activity, the growth, and all the wonderful things that they've been doing post-COVID. So, I mean, it was really wonderful. And when you go to the chamber meetings now, it's standing room only. So it's really wonderful.
Yeah.
So we thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, Judith is here too, and we will probably talk about the gala, right?
Yeah, Gala's coming up, but I did want to preface that by saying I used to be the vice president of the Gold Coast Business Association for 4 or 5 years, and stepped down and finally accepted the invitation to be on the board because I saw what was going on
Correct.
with the board and the leadership and bringing, I have to say, kudos to Cliff, bringing Cliff in. So it's really an honor and a privilege to be a part of the board. I'll let you talk about the gala.
Oh, there's a gala coming up.
It's
In November, it's a
It's early November, right?
gala palooza,
Gala
and
Palooza is
we're
a-
gonna have a doo-wop band, we're gonna have a comedian.
It's
What's
gonna
the
be
date?
a
It's gonna
show.
be at, it's gonna
think
be at
it's
the
Nove-
Crescent Club
I
in
think it's
Bayville.
November 19th.
It's the Friday before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And it'll be a lot of fun. So I think, and we're trying to keep tickets at a modest price, so everybody will come. And we're doing some amazing honorees. Judith, would you like to say the honorees?
Sure. So we have 5 honorees.
The 22nd.
The Pinnacle Award goes to Stuart Richner of Richner Communications and the Herald Newspaper Group. Leadership goes to my boss, Carolyn Ipel, very proud of that. New Business Award goes to Danielle Mazza, who's on our board as well.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
Small Business Award goes to Jeannie Ricardo, who happens to own Better Water and manages Better Water Victory Restoration and Pathmaster. And Amy Peters gets Community Award for the Farmers Market.
That's
it.
great.
Well done.
Great move. It's on my calendar. I have 5 o'clock question mark. I don't know what time it is.
I believe it starts at 6.
Yeah.
Around 6,
Yeah.
but we'll let you know.
Yeah.
That's it to you.
Anyone
That's
else have any
fabulous.
other announcements?
The library is having a book sale this weekend. We hope people know we have flyers here, and there is kind of a preview party on Thursday at 5 p.m. in the library. So if you have-
Wait, Wednesday? When is it's
Thursday is the
this
preview
Thursday,
and-
tomorrow?
Yes, and Friday and Saturday is the
I bought way too many books last year and
This
like you
year
get a
we
lot
have
for
here
$5. I know.
January 9th. So we hope everybody.
May I just say, the date is Friday, November 22nd. From 6:30 to 11:30 p.m.
6:30
Friday, November 22nd, 6:30 to 11.
at the Crescent Beach Club.
At the Crescent Beach Club. It's a gala for music. So come in costume if you'd like, 1950s, get ready to dance. And enjoy a show.
Lastly, Youth Bureau, some Youth Bureau business. Happy to say that we had over 300 kids attend our summer programs this summer. That's not including the kids in tennis, basketball, and everything else that we had going on. We are starting registration for our Youth Bureau after school program, which is free. If you are interested, please contact Sandra Potter. After school program began Monday. We have good numbers there as well already. We are although looking to hire. So if anyone is interested in a job, part-time job, wants to make some extra money, the pay isn't great, but the experience is one of them. please contact me or Carolina. We are looking for people. We are also looking for a possible driver to drive our van. It's basically 2 hours a day. If you're bored and you need to get away from your wife, Gabor, and you want to come to work.
I don't want to get away from
She's-
my wife, I love her.
I feel, no, she wants to
She'll be
get you
there.
out.
She'll be there.
That's a different story.
No, but if anyone is looking or you have any kids around the age of 18, please let me know. If they do need volunteer hours or extra credit or services, we can arrange for that as well. Lastly, our collaboration with SAFE has begun again. So we are starting our classes in the schools this week, actually, Thursday. And I believe Miss Caballero's parenting program is beginning
October 26th,
October
for
26th.
8 weeks.
So there's a lot of stuff going on. If anyone has any questions about any of this stuff, please call the mayor's office and talk to Pam.
Call the deputy mayor.
Then you say Spiro.
No, those are sneaking, tell me the things.
Christine's kind of lucky because she's on a private island.
It was great being on that island. That island was great.
She's,
I was down next door. It was great, that island.
All right.
Anyway.
This
All right, guys. See you next month at the senior center.